common thing that I get when I'm guiding people is this belief that hiking is the same thing. And while I am also an avid hiker and I love spending time with nature through hiking, there is to me, a very big difference, but it's hard for people to see it at first. So if you don't mind sharing like how you feel
Yeah.
like hiking and forest therapy, forest bathing is different.
Yeah. I guess to answer that question, I can share a quick story.
Sure.
And that was way before I learned about forest therapy. Like you, I'm also I have a love of hiking. And there was a time when I really, really go after big adventures. So I
Whoa.
did like climbing, mountain climbing,
Wow.
went to like ice cap mountains, went to like Kilimanjaro and doing,
Uh-huh.
all sorts of like multi-day hikes. Um, and on a lot of those hikes, I mean, don't get me wrong, I had the time of my life. Like
Hmm.
you're talking about these amazing places on earth, beautiful mountains. So I am thoroughly enjoying all those process, like all those days on the mountains. However, there's always a part of me that felt like, why can't we stay a bit longer? Why can't we
Mm.
stay longer on the mountains? We would camp at a campsite to rest for a night, and then we have to move the next
Right.
day. And I often feel like, oh, it's so beautiful. The air is fresh. The birds are, singing. It's so nice. Why can't we just stay a bit longer? We have to pack. We have a
Hmm.
schedule to follow. And then I really remember one time when we were heading downhill. The trip is about to end, and I lingered at the back of the pack because everyone, we're all walking downhill, and I really lingered at the back, and I was like, this is so beautiful. Like, I don't
Mm.
even know if my friends walking in front of me realizes how beautiful it is. I think that really for me is the difference between hiking and
Mm.
forest therapy. So hiking, yes, I mean it's great for our health. It's
Hmm.
exercise and it takes you into nature, which is what we've been talking about a lot. But hiking also, in a way, requires you. There's a requirement. There is a requirement for you to go a certain distance to
Hmm.
hit certain point at certain time in order for you to come back down safely. And there's a demand on our physical fitness and abilities. But forest therapy for me is very different in the sense that we actually don't walk a lot. It's really about spending time in nature in a way that allows us to actually slow down,
Hmm.
to come back to our senses, to open our senses, and
Right.
to open our hearts as well. And in order for that to happen, it's very hard when we are constantly moving and when we hike. We really need to come to a place of relative stillness. Like we need to just calm down, maybe sit
Hmm.
down, maybe spend like a few hours, sometimes at the same spot, and then allowing nature to actually reveal herself as the therapist, right? You need time. You can't just sit down for 5 minutes and, okay, come on, show me your magic.
Time is ticking.
Mother Nature is not busking. So we need to just calm ourselves down so that we can actually notice and receive. So
Mm.
it's much slower than hiking. It's more I don't want to use the word passive because it's not passive, but it requires us to come to a place of reception. Yeah.
Mm.
So whereas hiking is a lot more active, right?
Yeah.
Um, I think I would describe it that way. I mean, I feel like if I recall one of the earliest interviews I've ever done with a magazine, I described uh, something like hiking is a sentence. If hiking is a sentence, then forest therapy is the comma in
Oh,
the middle.
I
Like
love
it's the
that.
comma that
Yeah.
asks you to pause in the middle. Like it's
Hmm.
not about completing that journey, completing that sentence. It's about, okay, I get to this place and I stop and I pause
Mm.
and I see what's going to come up next. Yeah.
Wow. I really love that. It's the comma in the sentence, and also I appreciated you saying like there's action in hiking, but there's receiving or the reception
Mm.
in forest therapy. And oftentimes, if for those that like to go hiking, the only time you really pause is to like, oh, I'm really tired. Let me just take a sip. Let me have a piece of my energy bar, and then off I go again. But are you noticing your field of view or like what's going on around you? I don't know. For me, I'm usually thinking about how much more time do I need to get to the next point,
Mm.
or I'm thinking about, okay, if sundown's coming, like I need to hurry up, But it's never necessarily about enjoying just what's around me, the
Mm.
present moment. So
Mm.
yeah, I often like to talk about the difference of hiking and forest therapy, as like hiking is doing, forest therapy is just being.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I want to also just bring it, sorry. Also want to just bring in a footnote there.
Mm.
I think hiking, if done in a more intentional way, like in a slow walk, it can also be a kind of forest therapy, um, because it also brings us into a place of noticing, of slowing
Mhm.
down, um, of receptivity. So maybe the biggest difference is not so much about the activity itself, but more about the state of being. Like,
Mm.
how are we showing up for this thing that we're doing? So yeah, I mean, I can't deny that if someone is walking intentionally, slowly, with their senses open, and you call that a hike, that might also be forest therapy.
Yeah, I think that could happen. There's
Yeah.
probably a lot of people that do it that way versus just, if you're going on Kilimanjaro, you probably have an itinerary every
You
single
don't want to
day.
just spend a whole month
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
out.